Good evening, my friends. How is everyone? As always, I hope you are doing well. I want you to be the big three. I want you healthy, happy, and safe. And you know what I want from me? Thumbs up, leave a comment, share this around. You can throw a thumbs down in there too. It's okay. Not going to hurt my feelings. Not my feelings. Anyway, today we're taking a look at another light beer. We are having a resurgence in really good light beers, and I am absolutely gobsmacked because for years, well, I've pretty much complained that light beers are just garbage because they're watered down regular beers. But we've done some really good ones of late. So let's take a look at this one. This is another one from Pedal-Haus. This is their Day Drinker, Arizona crafted, low-cal, gluten-reduced, 16 fluid ounces, 3.6 is the ABV, and 12 are the IBUs. She is true to style. Okay, well, we'll find out. But the way we've been pulling really nice light beers lately, beers that actually taste like beer, even when the Silver Bullet came out and that was the big craze, I was like, stuff's garbage. Personal opinion, but I don't want a beer with no flavor. Then why am I drinking beer? Why are we here? So let's do the crack. Let's do the pour. Here's your crack. The glass is frosted, as you can see, because it's still 100 plus and freaking humid out now. I think it's 106, so probably 55-60% humidity. That's miserable for Arizona. But here's your pour. You know, they say that there's a way to pour these with that tab in there. I wish I knew what the hell it was. Tried to get us some head on here. Might be a bit too cold though. Right, get the frost off the glass. 2, which is about average for a lager. This is their light American lager. I can see ice chips forming in the glass. I don't know if you guys can pick that up. Yeah, she might be a little on the cold side. This, of course, would be the temperature I want to drink my beer at when it's 106 with 60% humidity. Of course, that just means we have to let it get even warmer. Is what it is. Let's get an initial temperature. Oh yeah. Well, now we know why we have ice chips forming in there. It's 34 degrees. To be fair, I did pop the beer in the fridge. I don't have a rag in my pocket. Yeah, I do. I did pop the beer in the freezer for a couple of minutes before we came out to make sure she was well below the approved temperature range. This way we can get a really solid look. The last couple I've screwed up and we haven't gotten them cold enough. We're coming in at 44, 46, 48. No. I want them lower so we can work through. Okay. The head has basically disappeared. Okay. So, biding time. Let's get that sniffer in there. She has virtually no nose. She is so cold. Almost a malty smell, which makes no sense for a beer of this color and this style, but let's slip it a tongue and see how delicious she is at 35 degrees. Wow. While the nose has nothing going on, even at 35, you're getting a really nice bite flavor-wise. Yeah, let's move some of this shit off of here. Go there. You can go here. So she came in. It is nothing but soft palate. Even the tongue's not involved at this. Soft palate right into the back. And there's a full, rich bite. And it's malty. So while I was picking a malt note up on the nose, squizzy. So while I was picking a malt note up on the nose, it really transfers right over to the palate. Boom, and full and rich and hard. It's a really, really easy note to pick up. It's none of that subtle moats and smotes crap. It's a smack in the face. So let's see what they have to tell us about this beer. Their page tells us nothing, but the Google machine gave us their AI breakdown. So let's read what that says. Pedal-Haus Brewery's Day Drinker is a light lager specifically categorized as an American light lager with an alcohol by volume of 3.6 and a very low bitterness IBU of 12. It is described as low-calorie, extremely crushable, gluten-reduced wayfly lager made with 100% American-grown malted barley and no adjuncts. This beer is a staple at the brewery's Tempe location, blah, blah, blah. It has received a rating of 3.6 out of 5 based on 2,752 ratings and reviews on Untappd and a score of 82 at Beer Advocate with 4 ratings. Which is why you should always rate your own beer. I mean, I try and give you as unbiased as possible, but again, I'm a lager guy to begin with, so I'm always going to look favorable on anything that has taste. The Day Drinker is also associated with community events. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Pedal-Haus also promotes. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Day Drink is available for purchase at various retailers, including Total Wine and More, where it is marketed as a GABF, Great American Beer Fest, award-winning, low-calorie, almost gluten-free lager. Okay. Well, for what that was worth. Okay, so you can go away. And you can go away. So it's just Untappd, and they read us the Untappd thing. We want to go here. We want to go here. Close that. I'm just killing time so the beer warms up a little. Well, that nose is opening up a little. She's definitely lagery now. But we're also looking at 38. So let's pause. Let this warm up a little more. See, the glass itself is relatively thick, but the big knob at the bottom, that's your heat sink, or in this case, your cooling sink that holds the temperature. So it takes a little while to warm up when the glass is cold, cold, cold. And I was going to shoot this yesterday, so the glass has been in the freezer for a little bit. We'll be right back. Alright, so even with that big glass knob on the bottom holding temperature, it don't hold it for long out here, my friends. Incidentally, looked at the weather station on the wall. Told me it was 104 with 58% humidity. We're at 45 now. Okay, so we've made a big jump into the heart of the approved temperature zone. Let's see what she's going to show us now. Incidentally, a Crazy Beer Show said he watches all these other channels and everybody has their one specific thing. But the fact that I feminize the beers, he likes that. Okay. There was another guy who said he liked my channel, but it drove him crazy that I and this is a couple of months ago. Sorry, I don't remember your name, dude. It drove him crazy to refer to him in the feminine, but it looks like this, and it's shaped like this, and you don't slip at the tongue. Yes, I have to put the puns in there, man. Just one of those people. Biden time. Nice. So the nose has opened up. It's actually a pretty interesting confab. So it's floral, overlaying a grassy note underneath, right? So think like 75, 80 floral with just a hint of grass. Yeah, with the grassy or earthy? Grassy. Hint of grassy on the back end. Looks like this. That color. She smells that good. You have to slip her the tongue. And that's why the beers are all feminized on this channel, because I'm an old school knuckle dragging misogynist. Salute. Alright, so she's definitely opened up. That flavor profile where originally we got that malt note, that is gone. Soft palate, intradental, extradental, out into the buccals, nothing sublingual, half the tongue, and she's fast. And she's gotten semi-dirty, but she's still pretty light. Wouldn't say crisp, but she's sharp. So the grassy floral, incidentally, anybody who's super interested in lacing, I don't know, in archipelago maybe. That's what she's presenting as. So more floral, with just a hint of a nice grassy earthiness on the underlie. Said she was what, 3.6? Chalking out my teeth. Just say it. And it's not from the oils and esters from the high IBU count of 12. I just think it's brewed specifically to be like that. She's clean. That's not the problem. And while she's not crisp, she does lean into the dry, and it's actually a really, really nice concept. So, where are we at now that you've started to spike? $49. So we've got a couple of seconds to go. How about a joke? So a blonde, a brunette, and a redhead decide they're going to go rob a bank. Yeah, old school misogynist, remember? Ooh, knuckles made for dragon. A blonde, a brunette, and a redhead decide to go rob a bank. They rob the bank, and they're making their getaway, and the cops are hot on their heels. Okay, they get out of the bank, they take off, and then they hear the sirens coming. They're hauling ass out of town. While they're hauling ass out of town, they decide they need to lay low, let the cops go by, and there's a farm. So they pull into the farm, and they pull up, and they park behind the barn. They go into the barn, they say, you know what, we can hide here amongst all these sacks of potatoes. It's a potato farm. What we'll do is we'll get in a sack and we'll get in among the potatoes. And if the cops come and they poke the bag you're in, you make a noise so that they think that you're something else, and then the cops will go away. Okay, sounds good. So, the redhead gets in a sack, she gets in among the potatoes. The brunette gets in a sack, she gets in among the potatoes. The blonde gets in a sack, she gets in among the potatoes. And just as they all get settled, the doors open up and the cops come in. The cops spread out and they're looking around and they're taking their nightsticks and they're poking the potato bags to see what's going on, and they poke the bag with the redhead and she goes, wow! The cop goes, okay. It's a cat. Yeah. Another cop is poking around, and he pokes the bag with the brunette in it. She goes, "Sss." He goes, "Ooh, snake. And the other cop is poking around, and he pokes the bag with the blonde in it, and she goes, "Potatoes! Potatoes!" That joke was told to me 30 years ago by a woman who was really, really nice. She was Belgian, grew up in the Congo, Bernadette. She was an absolute sweetheart. I hope she's still okay, but man, who knows? It was 30 friggin' years ago. Potatoes! Potatoes! I do love that joke. All right. I got 51. That'll put us at 6. So, what are you going to show us, beer? Nose has developed more and she's gotten fuller and richer. Squizzy. That malty note is starting to rise up again, and it's working in. So now you're looking at probably 50 malt, 35 floral, 15 grassy. Promising. Let's slipper the tongue. Gotten a lot faster. The mouthfeel is dumbed down. She's literally intradental and soft palate now. She goes right to the back super fast. The flavor's starting to die down. And while it's presenting more on the nose, it's tapering off on the palate. And it's not translating to that malt floral grassy. Instead, you're getting lizard. Instead, you're getting just a light lagery note, not a light lagery note, just a very light lager flavor. Still in the floral zone. She's thinning out though. And the wheels are going to come flying off of this really quick. I can tell you that right now. Incidentally, I don't know if anybody out here besides me used to watch Paul Harrell. Paul Harrell was probably one of the greatest gun tubers ever. Man was amazing. The joke was dedicated to him, by the way, because it was Paul. It's been a year since he's passed, so rest in peace. He's, by all accounts, he was probably one of the nicest people you ever met in your life, and he's one of the most entertaining gun tubers out there. We're sitting at 55, so yeah, we're sitting at 55. We're gonna pause, give it a second, we'll be right back. Alright, well that did not take long for us to get to 57, which is where we're gonna top this beer out. Like I said, 51, 52, the wheels were already coming off. So, let's see what we got going on. Skol. It's gotten thin and watery. Flavor profile has died back. It's starting to taste like a light beer. Super fast, super thin. To be fair, normally, excuse me, I love cucumbers, but sometimes they don't love me. Normally, when we start to see these lagers hit these higher temperatures and the wheels come off, they become really manky is the word I usually use, but the flavor profile just falls apart and it becomes unpalatable. I believe that's the right word. This isn't doing that. All the flavor has been bleached out of it by the warmth. It's not particularly tasty. It's okay, but it's fading hard and fast. So we're gonna wrap this here. This is done. I can't see this getting any better, although if you really want to see what it tastes like in the 60s, go to the short. If the climate change people find out I'm this gassy, they'll try and execute me like the cows. Is this a beer I am likely to buy again? Maybe. It's not a bad beer. Drink it again? Sure. Try it on tap? Love to. Handed this to me out of the cooler, I'd say thank you. There's no insult in this whatsoever. And she's reduced gluten for your gluten intolerant friends, although we could do an hour on that. We're not going to because this is a beer channel. She's good for the style. She's okay for the style. She's not as good as Beach Cruiser. Beach Cruiser was much better. But she works fine. She interesting? Yeah, kind of. I mean, we got a nice flavor progression, more from the nose. So a nice aroma progression when we went into the malts. And then we went floral grassy, and then we went malt floral grassy, and now we're at vacant. Arizona product. She's local to me, but I'm not going to give her extra points for that. It's a decent representation, and she's not bad for a light beer. But then I spoke too soon at the beginning of the video when I said, we're having a light beer revolution, and all these light beers are great, and this one is okay. So, good for the style. Meh. Let's give her a... 4, 4.25. I mean, she's good for the style. Look at your 4. She's not super interesting. Well, she's kind of interesting. The flavor profile, yeah, 4.25. She's interesting enough to get 4.25. She'd have gotten 4.5 if the flavor profile was a bit more interesting and present and forward. Not that she was horrible, but just didn't bite me. So that's what I got. Thanks for coming by and having a cold one with us. It's me. You know I beat. You know I always got a spare somewhere. 2 is 1, 1 is none, which is another Paul Harrelism. So, thanks for coming by, putting some eyeballs on you with people you know I love you. Big 3, my friends. Happy, healthy, safe, honorable, dutiful, vigilant, gray man, hen, swivel, hot and handy. Hot and handy comes with its own laundry list of responsibilities. And, R.I.P. Mr. Harrell. Miss you. You were a great, great resource. Salute. Because I'm saving the warm slop for the short. That's why. Later.